Okay. Hi, everybody. This is Master Nigel welcoming you to another interview with a beautiful change angel, Angel Samia Bano. And what we're doing with these interviews is that we are basically finding the change angels who are here on the planet, already actively engaged in making a difference here. And we're finding out their mission and purpose and finding out what the way that they're executing and fulfilling that purpose. And today's guest on the Change Angel Activation program is Angel Samia. And she's going to share with us her purpose here and her journey. So we'll just go straight into it. So say hello to the people, Angel Samia.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Nigel, for having me on. I feel really blessed for you connecting me with all your community and for this chance for me to spread my mission, my vision, and share it with everyone.
Awesome. It's a pleasure to have you. Um, well, the framework for this interview is that regard the um, we regard the angel you as someone who's fresh from heaven, and we like, wow, are you from heaven? Who are you? And tell us about your essence. So, my first question is, are you a change angel?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and that, what is that? Like, for those who have never heard of such a thing, how would you explain what a change angel is?
Well, for me, what being a change angel means is like someone who's like really committed to creating positive social change in the world. And actually, like for me, it's not even just social change in terms of what we do for other people, but also being responsible and caring about our planet and
Mm,
everything uh, that our planet holds. Because ultimately, we are all interconnected, interdependent, and we're all parts of a whole, including the non-people parts. So for me, it's like really, really important that we live in ways that not only take care of ourselves as individuals, but that we also take care of other people and our planet. So
that's
being committed to that is what it means to me to be a change angel.
very good. Now, I know this wasn't in the questionnaire, but how long have you known that you were a change angel? Is this a recent awakening, or has it been with you since childhood?
Well, I mean, I've I was pretty young when I began to recognize that there was something very wrong with the way things were. Uh,
Mm,
and my first sense around that was with the way that I saw women being treated in our societies, in our communities.
mm,
And that just always like left me feeling like not very good. But actually, I felt very disempowered. I didn't know what I could do about it or
mm,
that I could even do anything about it. So for
mm,
me, it took a long time. It was a big process of growth for me to get to a point where I was like, oh, you know what? There is something I can do about it, and I am going to do something about it. And then it took me a while longer to figure out exactly what that was and just exactly how I could make my contribution to creating more positive change in our world. So
awesome.
it was definitely a process of growth
Right.
over
So you've
time.
been on this journey for a long time, is what I'm hearing.
Hmm.
And so now that you're kind of clear, what would you say your mission was now that you're here, Angel Samia? What?
My mission, very simply, is to eliminate suffering from the world by
What?
empowering people to live with inner peace and joy.
Wow, now that's a big mission. You know, like most people on the planet expect to suffer. It's like a normal way of life. Isn't that a little bit impossible?
It's not impossible at all. It's one of the greatest lessons that I've learned in my own journey to living with inner peace, and that, suffering is optional. There is a saying out there that
Mm.
pain is inevitable, but
Mm.
suffering is optional. And that's because suffering is a frame of mind, it's a mental, emotional experience.
Mm.
And we can actually learn how to take control of our own mental, emotional well being, and thereby eliminate the experience of suffering from our lives. And that is where my area of knowledge and expertise is. And that is really why I have the mission that I have of eliminating suffering from the world, because it's a lesson that I've learned for myself. And
Mm.
now I'm able to share that and teach that to other people.
Awesome. Now, I know that when angels come to Earth, we bring gifts. So, what would you say your top 5 spiritual gifts that you bring that allows you to fulfill this mission?
Okay. My number one gift actually is my ability to maintain my own inner peace.
Mm.
Um, and number two is to help other people achieve and maintain inner peace, even in times of crisis.
Mm.
And my other gifts are my hope, my optimism, and they're all really grounded in my faith, which
Mm.
is, the sense of inner confidence and trust in in God and the way the universe works, like whatever you want to call it,
Mm.
that there's that ultimately that its essence, the essence of nature, of how reality is, its goodness, and it's good, and it's working on our side. It wants to help us, and it guides us to and makes sure that everything can turn out for the best. We have to just believe in it and trust that, and follow the guidance that we receive along the way. And if we are able to do that, then no matter what happens, we can find good in it and help it and use it to help us grow better, stronger, and more compassionate.
Mm. So, that was your top one is faith. You mentioned guidance, so that means you're able to receive data from some.
Well, I do. I feel absolutely guided, but for me, the guidance comes like from within.
Mm.
And um, the thing is that we all, I mean, I call it my inner source of inner peace and
Mm-hmm.
joy and wisdom and guidance and pretty much all that is good. And we just have to learn to connect with it.
Mm.
And once we learn to connect with our own inner source of peace, wisdom, and joy, um, you know, it tells you everything you need to know in order to, like, how do you live with inner peace? How can I solve this problem in a way that allows me to take care of myself and other people and my planet? It'll answer pretty much any question that you have. So we just have to learn to connect with this inner source, and we all have that capacity, and that connection already exists. It's just a matter of learning how to use it.
Awesome. So, you have peace and the gift of connectivity to your source. What other gifts do you loaded with?
Well, I have, I feel really blessed with many, many gifts. And I think a lot of it just has to do um, with how I'm able to see
Mm.
different perspectives on any given issue, see like difference that exists among people, and yet be able to focus in on what ties us together, what is common between us. And because of that, I'm not only, it's sort of like for me to think about tolerating difference. Like people talk about tolerance a lot. Like for me, that's a really low standard.
Mm.
I'm really all about acceptance and appreciation of difference, by focusing in on what ties us together and the good that can come out of us coming together and working together. So so actually, that like for a long time, I've actually moved around a lot through different cultures, different countries I've lived in, and I always felt like I was like this bridge builder, because I was able to see different things and bring them together in a way that made sense and that increased the harmony between those seemingly different things.
Oh,
So,
so you can see that directly links to peace as well.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's actually that's really the essence of how we achieve peace, is by tapping in and connecting with more and more of the wholeness that
Mm.
we are all parts of. We are all parts of an interconnected, interdependent whole. And the more you connect yourself with the whole
Hmm.
in a harmonious way, the more you're able to connect with or strengthen your own connection with your source of inner peace and joy and wisdom.
Awesome. You seem like you have the gift of compassion. Is that true?
Yes, I think the gift of compassion is a natural output
Mm.
when you have the kind of like I think my main gift, I would say, is empathy, being able to
Mm.
see things from other people's perspective.
Yeah.
And then when you're able to do that, I think compassion is a natural output of the empathy, which is really my strong gift.
Beautiful. Well, clearly you're here on a mission. You're highly gifted and talented and prepared, and to whom much is given, much is expected. And clearly you're designed to succeed. Now let's pretend, or let's presume and visualize that you are successful, and the world got the message, they got the gift, whatever modality you delivered it in. What impact has now happened? What does the world look like now that you have fulfilled your mission and returning to base?
Wow, so it's a world that's free of suffering.
Mm.
It's a world that's free of violence and the threat of violence. And it's simply a function of, you know, each one of us having learned how to meet our needs in assertive ways so that we are able to stand up for ourselves, stand up for our rights, while still respecting the rights and needs of other people.
Mm.
We have learned what we need to learn in order to live with inner peace and joy ourselves,
Mm.
and we know like how to begin with ourselves, begin with like focusing in like inner peace is my personal solution for global transformation. And each and every one of us, now that my mission is complete, has that knowledge, has that skill. And so we are living that, and it's a world that's full of joy and peace and free of suffering and violence.
So let's just bring that into perspective. Like now, right now, there's some conflict going on in the Middle East, and your work went over there, did its thing. What what kind of new Middle East do you see happening?
It's a Middle East where people recognize that, hey, you know what sets us apart? I mean, what ties us together, the common ground that we have, is much greater and stronger than what sets us apart.
Mm.
And the things that set us apart, we it does not become a cause of conflict for us. It becomes something that we appreciate about each other, and these differences actually strengthen us, and they make us better people. They give us more options in how we can live our life with more joy and peace in our lives, right? And when we find disagreements, we know how to figure out win-win solutions, because we become focused not on the surface of where we are disagreeing, but we know how to look deeper and be like, okay, what is it that you really need? And what is it that I really need? and knowing and trusting that we can find a solution where I can meet my needs and you can meet your needs. So we're not in competition anymore.
But what if people
Over.
don't believe that? What if they don't believe that they can have their needs met? Like there's not enough.
Oh no, that's just, a perception and a frame of mind. And once you learn to connect with your own inner source of peace and wisdom, and each and every one of us does that, our own inner self, your own inner self will tell you, no, there's absolutely a way that you can meet your needs. And there's never just one way to meet your needs. There's multiple ways, and each person knows that. And then we communicate that with openness and honesty and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable to each other. And when we do that, then we are able to find those solutions that are truly win-win. So it's absolutely possible. We just have to, there's a certain trust factor that has to be present, and that is internally generated. So that's something that I work on with my clients, my people, and teaching them how to generate that and tap into that internal trust factor. And once that trust factor is in place, then there is some amount of skill building that you can work on, and some skills you can develop to help you through the process of conflict resolution, of finding the common ground, of finding the win-win solutions. So it's absolutely possible. And it's just a matter of us learning how to tap into that.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you sound like you're an angel that's ready to go. Your vision is clear of what it would look like when you're successful, and you have some advanced tools and practices, it sounds like, to bring the people into the level of consciousness and awareness that's necessary for you to succeed or for the mission to be accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
Now I would like to talk about your vehicle. What vehicles or enterprises have you developed here on Earth to distribute this message, these gifts, to touch all the people? Do you have a vehicle?
Yes, I do. So the primary vehicle that I'm using right now, it's the Academy of Thriving. It's where, yes, the Academy of Thriving. It's where you learn how to empower yourself to live with inner peace and joy.
Now, is that a non-profit, a business, what is a school? Explain, what is that?
It's a social business. So that what that means is that it's a hybrid between your traditional nonprofits and your for-profit businesses. See, because the nonprofits, they have certain limitations, and the for-profit business models have certain limitations. So we have actually taken the best of those things and left out the limitations, and used this innovative business model of it's called a social business. So our primary goal is to create social good. And in my case, that social good is about eliminating suffering from the world and people's lives. However, we are self-sustaining. So I do charge for the services that we offer so that we can sustain ourselves and we don't have to be dependent on handouts. And we don't become limited by, like, for example, if you're a nonprofit and you get money from a grant, a lot of times they put in a lot of conditions on you, and they tie you down in terms of what you can and cannot do. So in order for me to be able to fully live my vision and implement it with freedom and authenticity, I have to be self-sustaining. However, as a social business, I'm also committed to making sure that every person who needs what I have to offer is able to access it. So I actually am very passionate about working with underserved, underprivileged populations as well, and providing them access to all our services at low cost, and if necessary, no cost.
Sounds like your business or the vehicle is built on certain core values.
Yes.
Would you like to share what those are, or the top few core values that are central to the business?
Well, I mean, the basic value is implementing the golden rule in everything that we do. Love for others what you love for yourself. Treat
Mm,
others the way you want to be treated, right?
mm,
So, for example, even in something as little as when I print marketing materials, whether it's my business card or my pamphlet, if I cannot, let's say, afford to print it on recycled paper using soy inks, then
mm,
I just won't do it,
mm,
because I want to make sure that everything that I do is not only helping people, but it's also maximizing environmental benefits and protecting our planet. So everything that we do, um, it's one of the reasons why also I give 100% happiness guarantee with all my programs, right? So that if people are, for any reason, not satisfied with what they signed up, if they sign up for a particular program and they feel like they're not happy or satisfied for any reason, I will give them their money back, because that's what I would want. What I would love for myself, if I was engaging in a business transaction with someone else. So just implementing that golden rule at every level of our business is the core value, and everything else emerges and derives from that.
mm. Okay, that's beautiful. The golden rule is the central value that governs the structure of the business. Now, who is the primary target? I know that your mission touches the world because it's world peace, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but who, when you set out on the mission, who are you really targeting first? So, who's your primary audience?
Mm-hmm. So I am actually expanding my Academy of Thriving, the network. So it's not just me. We're working on with a network of other coaches and trainers,
Hmm.
and each one of us has a different area of specialization and expertise, and we reach out into different communities. Uh, Personally, my specific area of expertise is working with survivors of abuse and other trauma. And most of my clients who connect most deeply with me, about 70% of my clients are women. They're between, like, usually 30s, 40, in their 30s or 40s, and they have survived some kind of abuse or trauma in their lives, and they're really struggling for inner peace and wanting to achieve greater control over their own mental, emotional well-being. And they are a community of people that not everyone has the skills or even the motivation to work with, because a lot of times um, it takes a special kind of person to be able to work with someone who has gone through serious trauma, like abuse or sexual assault, sexual violence, domestic violence. But that is an area where I'm really strong at, and I'm very passionate about working, because I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse myself, and so I have a particular um, sense of empathy and ability to connect with other survivors.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And so you mentioned the services were coaching. Can you kind of give us a comprehensive view of the service offering of this Academy of Thriving?
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll take me a long time to give a really comprehensive
Well, maybe just
sense, but it's a very holistic approach. We actually, what I did was I developed a 5-step formula, and it's called the Survivor to Thriver formula.
Mhm.
So it outlines that a 5-step approach that allows you to go from just surviving in your life to actually thriving in your life.
Right.
And so we begin with, for example, working on issues of acceptance, where you just are able, and self-acceptance, I mean. And a lot of that has to do with developing skills around how to stop the hurt, stop the damage, basically, that that is causing the suffering in your life right now. And then, we go on to the next step where we begin to work on how do you now start to achieve control over your own well-being once you have stopped the damage, and put sort of like the first step is focused on first aid treatment, right? The emergency treatment. And then once you're stable, you're not in crisis mode anymore, then we can shift you into the long-term care ward and start teaching you about how to take real control over your own well-being. And then once you do that, then we can start to focus in on, okay, now you have healed enough that now you can sort of, it just happens very naturally that once you have healed sufficiently, you are able to shift your focus away from just your own individual self, and you start to notice what's going on around you, and you begin to see how your well-being is in fact connected to the well-being of other people around you. And so we say, okay, so now what can you start to do that not just helps you but helps other people as well? And once you start to help other people, then you actually end up helping yourself even more. So we start to work with people on figuring out their life meaning and purpose, and what their values and strengths are and how they can live them. And then in the final stages, we really begin to focus in on helping people achieve excellence in every area of their life. So this is about, growing beyond even just recovery, the point of recovery. There's like this trajectory that research shows any person can follow in terms of how we can recover and grow. And so the first stage is really you just begin to survive, and then you recover and you get back to the point of well-being that you were at before you went downhill, let's say because you had a traumatic experience or something like that. And the thing is that unfortunately most people, they come to this point of recovery and that's where they stop.
Okay.
But there's actually, you can continue to grow beyond that, and you can achieve an even greater level of well-being. And that's really what thriving is all about.
Awesome.
So once people have achieved recovery, then we actually begin to focus on what you need to do to really thrive. So it's a very comprehensive approach, and it addresses all aspects of our being: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, financial. And we just, depending on what you need right now, will like connect you with the right coach and the right program to serve your particular needs.
Okay. Seems like you've given it a lot of thought, and sounds like there's some good systems in there that deal with the volume of people in the world. So are you geared up for scaling? I mean, are you expecting to scale?
Yeah, of course. I'm already in the process of growing, so that's part of where the network of coaches and trainers that I'm working with comes in, right? So it's like I started out on my own, and now I already have like a number of other coaches and trainers that I'm working really closely with, and we're continuing to grow and expand that circle. And the only thing that, there's nothing that stops us, because every time I reach out and I give out the call to, hey, who else, connects to this vision, and is engaged in work that would support this vision, and who else would like to collaborate with me, joint venture with me, join my team, I get so many people back who respond to that call, and it's like really exciting, you know. So now what I'm really focused on is like developing even stronger structures and systems that allow us to just continue to grow even faster and stronger with this. But it's absolutely, I designed right from the get-go. And that was one of the great blessings that I feel like I have in my life, is that I've always been guided towards great people who have been able to guide me and mentor me in how to do things. Like, for example, when I was setting up my business, like just right from the get-go, they were like, okay, let's do it this way, this way, this way, so that from the start, you know, we develop it in a way that's scalable, that's strong, and self-sustaining, and so forth. So it's very exciting.
So, well, there's two more things. There's your partners you're looking for. And typically, my audience, the audience is watching you right now, are other change angels who have similar big missions like yours. So, if there was one of those angels that you're looking for to collaborate with you, what would your request be? And I know that the angel community is a very giving community, so you can make a formal request right now for whatever your needs are, or preferences, or desire.
Well, I think one of the biggest needs that I have right now, and that I'm working on, I'm like already working on it, but I would love additional help and support on it, is just the marketing aspect. You know, because like I was saying, when I communicate my message, I have a lot of people who answer the call, and it resonates. So what I'm working on right now is developing the systems to explode with this message and have it go viral. You know, especially I want to focus on social media, and using social media as a way to sort of take our message viral, to share our mission and our vision with everyone out there. So any change angel who has an expertise in the area of marketing, particularly marketing in the context of social media, I would love to connect with you, and I would love to see how we can collaborate and work together.
Awesome. Yeah, we have, I believe, Angel Byline came on one of our Tuesday calls, and that was her expertise. So we'll connect you with that angel. What are the different mode that you are outlet? Like, where can we find you? Is there a physical location, website, radio station, iTunes? What do you got?
Yes. So one of the things that we did, again, it's about, because we have a value-based business, and one of our values is to be able to provide our services at low cost to people who need it. I deliberately built my business in a way where we have very little overhead and so forth. So right now we do not have a physical location. I actually work from home, and so do the other coaches, and most of the other coaches and trainers that I collaborate with. So the way to connect, the best way for us to connect, is over the phone and online. So you can go to my website, which is simply academyofthriving.com. And when you go there, you can, we have a contact us page that gives you various options to connect with me and some of our other top coaches and trainers. And you also have access to a lot of free learning resources that you can, that I would love for you to explore. And that will give you a sense of the work that I do and how I do it.
Okay, awesome. Now, are there some specific projects that you're working on currently that would that you can share with our audience, and that would, that you'd like to offer any projects or offer products or services that you're doing now that you'd like to promote and draw attention to?
Yeah, sure. Actually, one of my most popular programs is my Happiness 101 class.
Mm,
So that is one of the classes that I personally teach, and it's focused on giving people the skills that they need to achieve control over their mental and emotional well-being. And most people love to begin with that program because once you learn how to take control of your own mental emotional well-being, everything else becomes so much easier.
mm,
Because oftentimes what is stopping us from being able to do what we want, to dream big, to go after our big dreams and sustain the momentum, to overcome the challenges that come up as as we go on our way, are the mental emotional challenges. They're the negative self-talk, the self-esteem issues, the confidence issues, right? And so once you learn how to manage that and like really deal with that and in an effective way, then everything else becomes so easy. It's like something that I've personally, like, I can relate to. Like, when I know for 5 years after I graduated college, I was actually really struggling to get my social business going. And I realized a lot of that had to do with mental emotional issues that were holding me back, of like, I didn't know if I could do it, I didn't know if I was good enough, and those kinds
mm,
of things. So what I did was I connected and I started working with my happiness coach, and her name is Amy Cogé, Dr. Amy Cogé. And
mm.
once I started coaching and training with her, and I was able to learn even more effective ways of how to deal with all this kind of internal negativity and so forth. Well, like, I got my business going. Like, I had my first 3 paying clients within the first month of like making the formal decision to launch my business after I had started working with her. So it's like, it's just yeah. So basically, when the first victory is over our own selves, and it's actually the greatest victory, and it's the most challenging one, and after that everything else becomes easy.
So I'm hearing that you have an offer on the table.
Oh, yes. Got really
Awesome.
excited with that, right? I love that program. I love teaching that program. So for my offer for any change angel or any one who comes through you, Nigel, is that I will give you a free strategy session. So you can get on the phone with me and we can talk about what challenges you're facing, come up with a vision of a solution for you, and a step-by-step action plan of how you can implement that vision. And then if it is appropriate, in terms of if I feel like I can really serve you in implementing that vision and solving that challenge for you, then I will be happy to plug you in to one of my programs, and I will give you 40% off of the cost of the program, just
Wow.
because you're going to be coming through Nigel and you're a fellow change angel.
Awesome.
So that's basically it. So free strategy session and uh, 40% off any program that you choose to enroll in uh, through the Academy of Thriving.
Awesome. Now, I just wanted to say to all the audience out there is that we are, Angel Samia is the angel of peace, and her mission is very important. And clearly, there's a lot of people out in the world who would benefit from her services through her vehicle. And so we're inviting all change angels to take this broadcast and send it to your network. because there's someone, at least one person in your network who would be served by her services and offerings. And so as a group of change angels, we would like to support each other by promoting each other. And we know that if we all collaborate, as we all collaborate on our missions, then the world changes more at an exponential rate. What do you think about that, Angel? Samia?
I love that. For me, that's an excellent way of living the golden rule: love for others and do unto others what you would have them do unto you. I know I would love, for people to help me spread my mission and my vision and just help me get that out there. And so it would also be my pleasure to do that for other angels that I can do that for.
Awesome. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure interviewing you. I hope that we shall meet you again. In the future, we're thinking about bringing the angels of peace together. So there'll be like a little trifecta thing going on. And we can hear how your methodology dovetails with another methodology to achieve the same results. So, Angel Samia, thank you very much.
Thank you, Nigel.
Any final messages you'd like to send out to the angel community?
I think it's just for you to remember that suffering is optional, and we can eliminate suffering from our world, from our lives. It is possible, and I can help. So if that's something that speaks to you, please connect with me.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you again. And to all the change angels out here, please remember to share Angel Samia with your network and let the message of peace spread at an exponential rate. And stay tuned into changeangelactivation.com for our next angel. And then hopefully that angel will be you if you're watching. And so until then, this is Master Nigel saying thank you for tuning in and thank you for honoring us by being receptive to Angel Samia. And thank you, Angel Samia, for your blessings to us. Until then, see you again.